Hello, students. I think there might have been some confusion this week, possibly on my behalf. So in any case, I'm in the classroom, and I thought instead of us meeting today, I do want to cover some important things, kind of introducing you to me, kind of going over the syllabus a little bit, and talking about the textbook that we will be using for this class, which is here. They Say, I Say, with readings. This is the 4th edition. It's really essential that we have this book for the class because what we'll be doing is a lot of work in class, discussions, kind of tearing the readings apart a little bit and trying to engage with the authors and with each other in writing. So the text, it's there. The text information is in the syllabus as well. So I just wanted to, before we jump into the syllabus, just kind of go over a little bit here of the structure of the course. Pretty simplistic for now, until any changes happen in terms of whether we'll be fully in class or online fully, or a hybrid of both. But as it stands right now, we will be meeting in class Wednesdays each week. Okay, so here's the course. This is the student view of the course. You can see the basics when you log into the course, you'll be taken to the main modules area of the course, and that is the home page. So you have these are all modules here. So you see the module, the first one, some helpful starting documents. I put in here the attendance and login info. So when you come into class, the very first thing you'll do when you come into class is click on this link, and then you'll go to this site. It's socrative.com. You can do this on your phone. You can do it on the tablet, and then you will log in, and you will log in as a student. And then when you get in here, you're going to put in this point here. The room name is McConnell 3665, and then you click to join. And I'll go over this again in class when we meet next week. And then you would just put here your last name, comma, first initial or first name, okay, and then submit. Then after you submit, you'll see this little octagon pop up here. That means you're done, and you can go ahead and close out of that window. So that means you're in. Okay, it's very important for attendance each week that you do that, because that is how I officially take attendance. What I do is I download the report from Socrative, and then I just integrate it right into my attendance in Google Sheets. Okay, all right, so there's that piece. Oh, let me see, I jumped out. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the Home tab. And some more information that you have in here is instructor communication. Take a look at this. Communication now, especially since COVID has kind of plagued our society and invaded the way that we are educated and we educate others. Take a look at this because it's really important. The primary communication is really essential for any course, but I think really now, especially during these times, it's even more essential. So take a look at that. You can look at the ways that communication happen between student to student, student to instructor, instructor to student, instructor to groups of students, those kinds of things. Okay. Here's a link to the Mercy values. Take a look at this. We'll be using this throughout the course. We'll be referring back to the Mercy values and even integrating them into our writing and our service work that we do for the class. This is a link to the compressed class schedule in case we have a delay or anything like that. And then here is the academic calendar for the spring 2021 semester. Okay, so that's all that's in this area here. Take a look at all this stuff. And then you'll see below that, you'll see another module, and there's nothing in this module yet. I mean, this is expanded. There's nothing here yet. So when you come into class next week, what you'll see here is usually a Google Doc or sometimes a Microsoft Word document. And that'll have, basically, it'll be some questions or kind of prompts to get you working in your groups and sometimes individually in the class. Primarily we work in groups. This isn't a lecture course. It's more of a kind of seminar, kind of a dynamic seminar type of class. There will be lecture, probably every class, majority of classes, where I'm going to kind of go over some of the information from the textbook with you, and then we'll dive into the readings, and then you'll kind of do the work within the readings. And when you get into that piece of doing the work with the readings, this is where you're going to be using that information. So I'll tell you to go in there and grab the document for the class of January 27th, etc. Okay? One more thing to note about the textbook is that it's divided up into two components. So there are chapters. It's really an anthology. So there's chapters that the authors put together. So it's Graf, Birkenstein, and Durst. Graf is the author. Birkenstein and Durst are the editors of this textbook. And they have chapters 1 through, let me think here. I think it's 14. Yeah, 1 through 14. No, 15. 1 through 15. We'll use the majority of those. It makes up a small portion of the book if you're able to see. This is the chapter piece of the book. And then the second part of the book is the majority of the book, and these are a collection of readings. And so when I make reference to chapter reading, that is from the first section of the book. When I make reference to readings, that is from the second section. So every week you'll have chapter readings, and you will have a reading from the textbook, from the back of the textbook. Okay. So we'll explain. We'll get into more details about this next week. But that's kind of how this book is laid out. It's a nice tool, and I'll talk more about that in a few minutes. So, okay. So moving down here, you can see this is all of the stuff that you are going to be assessed on. This is a writing assignment guidelines. This is a rubric for all writing assignments, except for the essay that goes with your service project. Okay, so this rubric here is used for writing assignment 1, writing assignment 2, and writing assignment 3. And that's very important. And so I am always trying to be the most objective that I can, so that way I'm not biased in my grading toward students. If you meet the categories here, you get the points. If you do really well in this area, but maybe your summary of sources is missing, that's where you get a grade over here. So it can go back and forth, and does often go back and forth, but you'll see the grades show up here according to what you did. Did you have a strong thesis? If you did, you'll get all the points for it here. If not, you won't get any of the points for it here. You can see each of these areas here: the category, the introduction, the title, the summary of your sources, thesis, effectiveness of the content. That means, are you really getting at the prompt that I'm giving you? Are you addressing the prompt? Are you understanding the sources, or understanding the content that it's used? And then when you bring in outside sources, are you understanding those outside sources, and are you able to summarize those sources effectively? This is more kind of stylistic stuff with using persuasive writing techniques, which we will get into, which are presented a lot to us in this book here. And grammar, punctuation, citations. Are you citing your sources within the text? And are you citing them appropriately at the end of your paper as well? And then the conclusion is worth 10%. So I'm going to go back here. And so that's the rubric for, again, writing assignments 1, 2, and 3. Writing assignments are all 3 to 5 pages in length, and they're all based on one of the readings of the back of the book. For the first one, I don't give you an option to choose from one or the other. I'm going to tell you which reading that you'll be doing. And then for the 2 writing assignments after that, I'll give you choices. So you'll have either 2 readings to choose from, or 3. Okay. I think I'm just going to stick with 2 this semester. And so writing assignment 2, you'll have 2 options of readings to choose from and write on. And then writing assignment 3, you'll have 2 options as well. Okay, those are submitted through Turnitin within Canvas here. So here I clicked on the writing assignment. Here you'll see the points. You'll see when it's due. You see that you're submitting it through an external tool, but within Canvas, and that is the Turnitin feature here. It's not able to see me here because I'm not really a student in the class, but you'll see a link to submit here when you log in and get ready to submit. Okay, the prompt and all the information is here. That's writing assignment 1, due February 17th. We'll talk about this in class. We'll go over it in detail. So these are all the assignments. You submit that right here at this link. Writing assignment 2 is linked here. Writing assignment 3. This is all related to the service project, which this is a planning form, and then the service project is broken up into 2 components. One is the service work itself, and then the other one is an essay that goes along with it. Okay, and again, we'll get into more details with that definitely, and even in the next couple weeks, and diving right into that. Below that, you have a lot of the student writing resources. There's a lot of stuff in here with how to cite sources according to your style. I looked at your majors. The majority of you are going to be using APA style for your capstone. A couple of you, a few of you are history or political science majors. You will not be using APA for your capstone, primarily Chicago or MLA, and we will have to check with your advisor on that. But usually history uses Chicago style, but at the Mount sometimes they defer to using MLA style for history. So we'll work all that out with your capstone advisor. But these are all resources in the course, and that's it right now. So that's the only thing that's in here. Again, if we decide, or if the Mount decides and dictates to me that we're going to be doing a lot of the work as hybrid, you'll see some different things pop up in here in terms of discussions, in terms of out-of-class work, out-of-class lectures, and that kind of stuff. But for now, we're meeting in class. I'll see you all next week. And in Academic Hall, room 111. Okay, so now I'm just going to jump in the syllabus real quick. And so here's the syllabus. I don't like to read through it. A lot of what we just covered about the structure of the course kind of goes over and tells you what you have to do in order to complete the course requirements. And that's 3 writing assignments, writing assignment 1, 2, and 3, and then the service project. And each of those 4 components are worth 25 points, or 25% of your grade. So the syllabus is here. Look down through the syllabus, read through the course objectives, the student learning outcomes, and then this is the distribution of the grades, which I just mentioned. The grading scale is here. So to get an A, you have to score at least 93 out of 100 points, or since our points and percentages are identical because the total points for the course are 100, you get the point. So in order to score an A, you have to get 93 out of 100 points. You can figure that out up here. And so on and so forth. So read over that. Here's some details about the writing assignments. Look this over just so when we have the conversations in class in the next couple weeks about writing assignments, about details of writing assignments, that you're at least a little bit familiar with them by looking over the information here in the syllabus. There are required faculty conferences for this course, 2 of them. One of them is going to be at the end of the class, and it will be the service project work presentation that we're going to do, because we're going to do all the presentations virtually this semester. Okay, so more to come on that as well, but just so you're aware of what's to come there. And then the other faculty conference will be us meeting online using Google Hangouts, probably around the midterm point. And again, I'll let you know more about that when we get closer to that time frame, and how to select your time slot and all that good stuff. And then read a little bit about the service project, because although it's not due until May, we're going to start working on this and start talking about it within the next 2 weeks. Okay. This is the kind of the course calendar here. This is what you have to do for week 1. So for next week, when you come to class, this is what you have to do. So you're going to be reading from the chapters, the text, the chapters, pages 1 through 41. That's the introduction of the book, which is very important with this book, and chapter 1. Let me just confirm that those pages are correct. Yes, they are. So page 1 through 41, that'll get you again through the, oh no, wait, that takes you up through chapter 2, I'm sorry. So it's introduction, chapter 1, and chapter 2, okay? 41 pages, not a whole lot of reading, so it's not overwhelming. And then from the readings section, your reading is very short here. It's pages 365 to 368. That's Liz Addison's work on are 2 years better than 4. So that's referring to college. Our 2-year college degree is better than 4-year college degrees. And I'll post a little video about that, just kind of going over a little bit about it before we meet next week. Then when you come into class next week, I'll go over a little bit more detail with you regarding the chapters, the introduction, chapters 1 and 2. And then you will already have some preface of what the Liz Addison piece is about, because you'll have read it, and you will have at that point looked at the video that I recorded and put out there. It won't be any more than 8 minutes, I would say. I'll keep it short. This one's a little bit longer. So that's it. That's the week, the calendar. And then the other thing I wanted to show you, and then this is it, because I'm approaching 17 minutes here now already. I didn't want to go this long, is the course summary. So here you can see the course summary for the course. You have the assignments, writing assignment 1, when it's due, the date, and then the time as well. Okay, same with writing assignment 2, the date, and then the time. So this is here, again, this is in the syllabus link here in Canvas and in the menu area. Pay attention to these 2 areas closely right now. Do your readings for next week. Watch the next video that I put out regarding an overview of Liz Addison's, or 2 years better than 4. And that's it. I am very much looking forward to this semester with all of you. I recognize some names, and I already know I put faces to some of those names as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you all and working with you this semester. So take care. Any questions, please reach out to me, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.